I don't want to scare anybody, but PFAS are everywhere. They're everywhere in the environment, basically in almost all people. And it's going to be a long time before we're going to eliminate our exposures to PFAS. The one thing that's super important is for consumers to be aware of the problem, aware of how they can reduce their own personal exposures, and use their wallets to speak to industry so that industry can choose or maybe be forced to have more sustainable practices and practices that are less harmful to human health. PFAS stands for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. They are a large group of man-made chemicals, probably over 9,000 chemicals in all. They don't break down in the environment or in the human body for that matter. They may be carcinogenic, which means they may cause cancer. PFAS have been found to be endocrine disruptors, which means that they can affect the hormones in the body, which means that they can disrupt things like reproductive systems. Fetal development can be affected. They also seem to have an effect on the immune system, particularly in children. High cholesterol, testicular cancer, ulcerative colitis, thyroid disease, and then, of course, there was pregnancy-induced hypertension, which is also known as preeclampsia. The average consumer is probably exposed to PFAS through things like nonstick cook pans, ones that contain Teflon, food packaging, food wrappers, water repellent clothing, stain resistant fabrics and upholsteries and carpeting. There are some cosmetics that also contain PFAS and some electronics. So it's really important to read labels and to try to figure out where these chemicals are in your own household. The first thing they can do is they can buy real, whole food that they prepare at home that is not coming from packages that may have PFAS in them. You also can avoid using nonstick cookware that may have PFAS in them. Has the word fluoro in it, you might want to be a little concerned. It may have PFAS in it. You should also avoid dental floss. There are many brands of dental floss that have PTFE. That's a PFAS. College students are very tech savvy, and so some of the tools that have been developed that I think college students would really take to are apps that can help you determine whether you can scan a product and help determine whether it's PFAS free. The Environmental Working Group, they've worked very hard to give consumers tools to determine whether the products that they are buying contain PFAS. The NRDC, they have an apparel scorecard that's also really neat. So it has 30 of the top manufacturers of major brands, and it may surprise you which ones are very good, have really good, strong policies of avoiding PFAS in their products, and which ones don't. So there are several national, federal government agencies that have great information on PFAS. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Food and Drug Administration, they all have basic information on PFAS. Of course, that's at the national level, and so if you're more concerned about what's going on in your own backyard, you'd probably want to look to your state. In our case, in Hawaii, the Hawaii Department of Health also has websites and information about PFAS in Hawaii specifically. College students are also really good at being opinionated and speaking their voices and being heard. So I think a lot of change can stem from college campuses.